So now we're going to start looking at our final project and, where can we go with it? We had a follow along one or interpretation of which we kind of worked out a theme, gender, age, activity, stature. So these are just kind of a brief outline. For this project, it's wide open. As long as you're going to be using all of the principles that we've been doing, proportion, structure, depth, dimension, all of these things. And yeah, get some expression going on and using the elements and playing with proportions. But let's take a look at some of the guidelines we can take. Here we go. Let's move this one aside. Here we go. So this is going over more elaborate categories that which we can think of a theme. Because quite often the difficult part of coming up with a drawing is, what am I going to draw? Especially with that blank piece of paper and a deadline. You're kind of going, where do I go with it? So here I've gone far more elaborate and a lot more headings and ideas. And there's even more than here, but hopefully this gives you an idea. So this one we took a look at, gender, male or female, or those who identify as one or the other. So it's all good. Age. Rather than having specific ages, I said in the 20s for the last character, but we can look at a baby, a toddler, a tween, a teen, youth, adult, middle age, and senior. So there's a whole range of just age of a character. And here's one that I kind of put together as an example here, that if we take a look, that here's that baby. So different proportions. Different placement of the elements. Child, here's a tween, here's a teen, young adult, adult, again, just dressing them accordingly to age, and middle age, so kind of changing the physique of the character, to senior, adding a little bit of a prop. Well, I got some props in all of them. And then we can go even further, which isn't on my list. I've got zombie, or the undead. So yeah, you got a whole range to work with here. So that's something to think about to make an interesting subject matter. Okay, so that was age. Then for expression and develop the character, we can look at attitude. Are they a shy character? Are they dynamic? Are they evil? Are they a very happy-go-lucky? Or are they sad? Or are they just grumpy? Sort of. And there's lots more to that. Think of the Seven Dwarfs and all those. And those were kind of developing of different characters and their attitude to help define the character. Timeline's a big one. Something we haven't looked at. That the character that you want to design, you can be thinking of. Is this a character from the past? Or is it present time? The future? Or is it just a fantasy, other world sort of character? Okay. Let's go down this way. Location. Where does the character live? Might help with how the character looks, the dress that they're wearing. And that, what I mean by that is underground, on the surface, which most characters and how we live on the surface of the earth. In the water or underwater. In the sky, or are they in space? An astronaut or something. So, and then think about class. And this could help with the idea of clothing, the attire they wear, as well as attitude of character. Are they rich? Are they middle class? Or are they poor? So it's something you can kind of keep in mind, establishing a character. Culture is another one of, where, maybe not all of us, but I know myself. I was born and brought up in Canada. I'm living in Niagara Falls right now as I speak to you. This is where I was born and grew up. So, kind of that middle class, white, typical Canadian, but much more diverse now. And the world's a big place. There's lots of different areas, and maybe some of you, if not many of you, may be from outside of Canada. So, we can look at Asian or European, Latin, Middle East, and there's a whole bunch of other areas and things that could influence the look and design of our character. Another big one is occupation. Like we already explored an artist, but what does the character do, or what's their interests, be it professional or hobby or just yeah, what is it that occupies their time? So, lots of other occupations. And again, there's just a very small list. An accountant, a construction worker, a doctor, a musician. Think of all of the arts and what could be an interesting character. Business administration, police, soldier, scientist. Get into sports, professional or leisure, golfer, baseball, hockey, and there's so many others. But think of maybe something you're interested in. Maybe it's a sport you're interested in, or other things that you may know something about, and use it as a theme just to help you get going and working something out. Now, something that we haven't really gotten into, but something you can explore, take a look at. See if I can even pronounce it properly. Anthropomorphic. Yeah, that's a C here. Having human characteristics. So, you can take animals, like a cat, a dog, a bear, a cow, a frog, and develop that into human traits and give it an interesting character. Maybe have it more human than the animal that it's representing. A fish, a bird, insect, reptile. And if you look at animated feature films, and even if you narrow that down to Pixar, they've done all of these. A Bug's Life, all sorts of different types of characters that they brought alive. Objects, toaster, toy. There you go. There's that Pixar again. Toy Story. A pencil, a car. Geez, there's Pixar again. They did a whole old Cars. 2 films on that. Another is alien, android, robot, these sort of things. So, and this is just kind of an initial checklist of thinking, where can I go with a character design? When we take a look at Alien, this is something I've been working on for a 3D project that we're doing in our animation program. And the influence here is the song One Horn, One Eye, Flying Purple People Eater. So you can find influences everywhere. All I know is the instructor doing the 3D construction said, I want a design of just what he called a ball character. So he took that, and the first thing that came to mind was Monsters, Inc. and the one-eyed character there. But I wanted to do something different, try and make it as different as I can. Again, one eye, but coming up with different proportions and details and such too. And then I found, this to help me with direction is that very old song called Purple People Eater. So use that as a theme. So working that character out, and here is that front view that we looked at initially, a side view, and I built it up so that I've got the 3/4 view and seeing how that'll work. In 3D character design, we always do the front and the side, so that it can actually be constructed in the 3D software to make it dimensional. Okay, so there's some ideas. And then, I was even playing around with some expressions, just how flexible, what kind of attitude the character could have. And, in the construction of how can you get different mouth shapes and how can you get some of those different moods across in the character. And last but not least that I've got to show here is caricature. You can do something of yourself. This is a little design I did of a self-caricature, and this is for the graduation of our students in the animation program. So being virtual, I was asked to send a photo with a greetings or whatever. I thought it'd be more appropriate in our animation program that I did a cartoon of myself holding up a congratulations to the animation 3D program grads. Okay, so so many options from that blank piece of paper where you can go to have fun with this. Okay, so take all of that, review this video, review everything we've done previous, and see how you can come up with a theme and start working on this final project. I've got one more sample to show you for a process of character development. This is a project I've been working on and off and on for a while, a personal project. My son's a musician, and me being an animator, I said I'd do an animated video on, using the theme of a song that he had. So there's inspiration. And it kind of centers around a sea captain, a sailor. So I was coming up with something that would be easy to animate, but again, it's a longer sort of piece. So anyways, I was coming up with some ideas, and the big thing was playing around with proportions. But sea captain, I was trying to come up with what are the elements that would signify somebody as a sea captain, coming up with some different expressions and things, and then working up the whole character to a degree, and then working up, what that character would look like with the action going on. And yeah, after working away on this, and I did a whole storyboard and, kind of plotted out the whole film, but I wasn't really happy with the design. So I really took a look around for more inspiration and such, and came up with a whole different direction, but talk about proportions. So here's the latest that I was coming up for that to get going. So really playing with those proportions more than what I had before. I mean, compared to, this character. I just made him bigger at the shoulders, elongated head, thinner legs, and just playing with those proportions. So even if you got your theme and you got the elements, you can be playing up with those proportions and how you're going to work that character out. So there's that straight on front view. Let me take a look here. Yeah. And then here was a side view, so here's a redesign on that. Just making it hopefully a little bit more fun, a little bit more extreme design happening, just to make it a little more interesting. And then, following up with that to 3/4 view and starting to work that up. Yeah, this is kind of shortening things if I put this up straight, get a better idea. Okay. And then, working in more detail, playing with expressions and things for the character to make that work. Okay. And then, changing other parts of the story of how I'm going to depict it. I mean, here was that sea captain at the helm steering his boat and what he was looking like there, but then changing that up with this new design. So, making the hands smaller, just making them more broad here, taller hat, just getting a little bit more style to it. And I think because of my traditional background and such, that, kind of an older style, and I just wanted to update it to something that's more contemporary. There's so many cool designs and looks of shows and characters on TV and in movies now. I just wanted to be influenced by that a little bit and update what I had here. And then what do I have here? Just that 3/4 back view now of the character walking. Just changing up those proportions, looking like the character that I've modified. So, don't be satisfied with your first interpretation. That's what I was getting here. I did a lot of work on this, but never really happy. Then playing with those proportions and just trying to stylize a little bit more, just to make that much more interesting. And I know for me, I just wanted a little bit more fun if I was going to take that and use this character throughout a 4-minute song. I want to make sure that I was going to have fun with it. And hopefully in the end it looks better for the viewer and the overall look of the film in this case. And again, it could be character design for just about anything. But take a look around, style influence as well as playing with proportions, the technique at the end. So I want you to explore on this project so that, you got the best end result that you can. Okay? So anyways, have fun.